So I went on Discord and I ended up finding this. Well, somebody ended up showing me this. Apparently, this is from the Side Scrollers podcast. I don't know. It's one of those grifting podcasts that are cool with Grums. When Grums had a little bit of a controversy, they did damage control for all the weird stuff that was going on and the scamming and stuff. And then one of them put their foot down to try to call out Grums, got a bunch of pushback from the sheep, the sheeple, and then they walked it back essentially. So essentially, yeah, grifters, pretty much grifters. Yeah, we don't stand for anything. We're just going to stand for the popular opinion and bow down to whatever. So yeah, that's essentially what they are. But they're also one of these like kind of yellow flash-esque channels as well. Woke culture, blah 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 blah, bad 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 bad. We're gonna complain about this, blah 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 blah, and we're gonna make a difference by complaining somehow in their minds. So there you go. But the most important thing about this isn't the really old people in this podcast pretending to make a difference in anything. It's actually Kirsche, sausage fingers over here, who's like, pro Wally activist with Pipkin Pippa when they don't feel like flip flopping on it. Good friends with Jim Metokur, apparently. At around this timestamp, I've been told that she confirms that Jim Metokur is alive, but I want us to just listen to it. Just like, let's listen to this, okay?
I think there's been some like rumors of him having died like a week or two ago, and it's like, no, I asked him a question in DMs recently, so he's not dead. Thankfully. Right. I would be very sad if he had passed.
Steven came in and says, do you have any clip of the first Ninja Turtle?
So this is the only, apparent, to my knowledge, the only mention or confirmation of Jim being alive. Well, that's going to be good enough for some of the low IQ people out there. They're going to be like, oh my God, Sausage Fingers McLolly confirmed that Jim Metokur is alive, and therefore he's alive. So, I mean, sure, I guess grasp onto that if you want. I mean, it still leaves a lot of... I know people that aren't critical thinkers will just let this slip by their heads. But it leaves a lot of questions unanswered. A couple of them. Number one, well, why is the one person Jim tried to or choosing to interact with Sausage Fingers McLolly, all right? Is it because he's fully committing to the lolly grift at this point? I mean, again, Jim just recently, like about a month ago, said that if you interact with Lolly, you're a pedophile. So again, it's one of those like, what, are WallyCons just gonna accept an ante or something because he's cool with Kirsche or something? It's like, is Kirsche gonna flip-flop on Wally again when it's convenient? Like what is this? Like, what? Of all people, you're gonna interact with Kirsche, right? Tubby. Who gives fucking potentially criminal a run for their money when it comes to how wide they are. That's question number one, really. Question number two is, well, I mean, where is he then? Like, if he's around, then where is he? Like, why is he stopped paying for his blue check mark? Why is he pulling certain merch from his store? Why is Jade the only one addressing the public while apparently Jim is talking to you in private? Allegedly, apparently, unless it was Jade that answered. Again, the only confirmation you got is, I got a DM from him recently. She doesn't even specify the time. Like, she just says recently. She doesn't say like a day ago, 2 days ago, 3 days ago, or anything. I guess you can just leave that vague for people to assume or whatever. But like, again, leaving things vague is never really a good sign. But all right, there's that. So again, it just begs the question. It kind of leaves more questions than answers, if anything. It's like, okay, why is Jay doing the only interacting with the fans? Why is he suddenly gone? Why is he not paying for X anymore? I mean, you could just speculate on this. Like, the only thing I could speculate on is that since Jim wasn't given his blue check mark because he's not important enough, I guess speculation, if he's still alive, okay? Now we're operating on the scenario he's alive. So in the scenario that he's alive, we got to take this cretin's word for it. Jim got his panties in a bunch over Elon and he doesn't want to support Elon anymore, so he's being a brave girl and taking a stand by, not paying Elon anymore because he upset Daddy Trump. Option 2, people brought this up like he did with the new Project 2 and the Koof thing. He's going to lay low, right? He's going to lay low so that people don't give him backlash. Apparently, some people are just catching on to the Trump grift, the Trump bullshittery. Just him basically being Ricada. Like, if Ricada was a president, that'd be like Donald Trump. Like, every single lie, every single deflection, every single, but my enemies, like the whole, if this was actually me, every fucking code word for, like, he's a slimy, weaselly fuck. All that stuff. So people are, like, speculating Jim is gonna lay low now that all this heat is on Trump and stuff. And, but that doesn't really make sense to me either, though. Because it would still be easy for Jim to just be able to deflect this entire situation. Like, Trump has given you multiple outs to deflect and to just hide the truth, essentially. Just deflect from his controversy and his, like, whether it's, like, pardoning Diddy for whatever reason. Trump wants to pardon Diddy now. Talking to Ghislaine Maxwell, possibly pardoning them or whatever, flirting around with that idea. I don't know. Apparently it's a 50D chess move or something. Saying the list exists, then saying the list doesn't exist, then saying the list exists, but it's from my Democrat. Like, again, these are the reasons why I can't take fucking Republicans seriously. Like, they're like, well, you're the minority. I'm actually white as shit. I mean, you would probably know that more than anybody. Like, at this point, like, it's not, like, difficult to, like, find what I look like. But yeah, I'm white as fuck. I just don't fucking get it. I just can't take you people seriously when you're so blatant about the flip-floppiness, the inconsistencies. It's like, the list exists, the list doesn't exist, the list exists, but it's a Democratic hoax. That's why Bill Clinton is in there, smack dab in the middle, because, he's a Democrat. None of this shit makes sense. I think, like, people just refuse to ask themselves these questions because they know that if they do, they're going to fucking fuck up their little narrative and they're going to have existential crises, like everybody that was having an existential crisis when they thought Jim was gone or whatever. Because, I mean, again, for the purposes of this video, we're operating with the idea that Jim isn't actually dead and he's actually alive because Sausage Fingers McLawley over here went ahead and confirmed that he's alive. And the only thing you have for confirmation is literally Sausage Fingers McLawley over here just saying, hey, I talked to him recently in a DM. He's okay. I'm not giving you any more information. Let's move on. It's like, that's so, like, again, the vagueness is never good. All I'm going to say is AI is getting pretty good. At this point, AI is getting pretty well. It'd be very easy for people like this to fake Jim still being alive at this point. My speculation, my 20D speculation, Republican speculation, conspiracy, is that Jim Metokur will return, not because he's actually alive, but because he's using AI at this point. So I speculate that either somebody close to Jim or Jade herself is going to start using AI to essentially put on Jim's shows. You'll probably see a deterioration in the quality, if there even was any more quality to speak of, because a lot of people have also been saying Jim has been going downhill for years. Like, his quality has drastically went down. It's exactly what I said, by the way. I mean, I said, hey, I like Jim when he was the critical thinker, when he was able to establish that you can make fun of somebody and still have a point. Like, you can ad hom the shit out of somebody and still make a point. That's the Jim Metokur I remember and I liked. Not the Jim Metokur that is just a sheep, that is constantly flip-floppy, that is like, oh, the Koof exists. No, the Koof doesn't exist. Well, the Koof exists. No, the Koof doesn't exist. Like, again, like, the new Project 2 bullshittery with Dick Masterson, like, that in itself, like, people give him way too much of a pass, bro. Like, again, it's just, and now the newest thing would be the Lolicon grift, which is like, well, Jim, you were just calling Lolicons pedos, and now you're flirting with that idea. Like, you're like, oh, look, guys, little girls sexualized is that's just a joke, and that fucking quote unquote joke was enough to make even like some Kiwi farmers uncomfortable, and even fucking Josh Moon. How do you fucking make Kiwi farmers and Josh Moon uncomfortable, Jim? Like, that's insane to me. That you, like, it's insane that you would even make that weird fucking thought in your mind would conceive itself. But it's even weirder that, like, you've gone so far like those people were like, whoa, Jim, what the fuck is wrong with you? You know, like, again, it's just one of those things. So my speculation is just that Jim is actually dead. Kirsche is just bullshitting everybody, and if you see Jim return, then it's probably going to be AI. Like, I mean, we've seen AI be able to replicate Jim in its entirety for like hours on end, making these documentaries. Before Jim came back, there was a AI program that was able to replicate Jim's voice so good that he was able to go ahead and make hour-long videos roasting Ralph. I believe you can still find those on YouTube. So again, it's like, yeah, I just think Jim is probably going to come back as AI. People are going to AI his voice because there's not really a face, right? Well, I have Jim's face that Jim allegedly says is not him. That's why he got so mad when I posted it and called me a doxer. So again, you can't really see James Augustine. Apparently that's not even his name or something. I don't know, like something about how he changed his name so Montegraph couldn't sue him because, you know, Daddy Jim, good guy Jim, just like Nick Rekieta joined in on defaming Monty. But, you know, we're only supposed to call Nick Rekieta evil for that, not Jim, who took part in it too, did it too. So apparently Jim went ahead and changed his name so Montegraph couldn't sue him. That's fucking great. The point is, you can't see Jim facial wise, so all you're gonna go off of is the voice, which again AI can easily replicate at this point, and you're just gonna get somebody pretending to be Jim moving forward, really. And you know, again, if you see a drastic decrease in the quality, even more so than it already was, then you probably know why. It's because, yeah, Jim's gone. And this really didn't give me much hope that he's still around. Like, again, it's the whole vagueness of the whole thing. Too many fucking questions left unanswered. Like, again, why is the one person you're talking to this, you know, Sausage Fingers McLawley over here? Like, why? Okay, like, what is the point? Like, what? Okay. Why is Sausage Fingers McLawley so fucking vague about the entire thing? And then it's like, all right, moving on, guys. It's not that big of a deal. This is not that big of a deal. Let's move on. It's so fucking weird. It's so... It smells of them just trying to give people hope that he's still around, but in reality he's actually kicked the bucket. But I don't know, we'll wait to see how legit this AI will be if it comes out. Whatever, you know, we can judge it by the deterioration of the show if it does get even worse than it already did, because at this point, like, even people that just don't like me are saying, you know, I'll give you this, right? Jim's fucking, his shows are just terrible now. They're just like pro-MAGA propaganda in a really cringe sense because he's a fucking boomer, so he's not even doing that right. And lolicon. Like, it's all MAGA and lolicon. That's all it is. And it's like, what the fuck? Like, that's turning a couple people off, but some of them are just like, you know, pathetic people online. They gotta stay to their tribe. Like, I go down with the ship, just like many, many pathetic people were going down with the Rekieta trip or the Rekieta ship for a long, long time. So again, that's pretty much the update on Jim being alive. Okay, let me know what you think, IG in the comment section down below. I'll see you all in the next one. Have a good rest of your day, and remember, Donald Trump. That is all.